Hello and welcome friends, Alpha Heavy Gamer back again, glad you could join me. So I have some really good news this time. Gaijin has confirmed that 4th generation fighters are coming to the game in 2022. Now I picked up this story through other content creators reporting on it. Apparently, Aero, which is an aerospace publication, had an interview with Gaijin about the aviation elements of warthunder. In the interview, when asked about a roadmap, the Gaijin employee confirmed that 4th generation jets were on the roadmap for 2022. So the full article is locked behind a paywall, but if you want to see more about that, you can go to the European Canadian or even Ash's video on it. But please watch me first. So yes, 4th generation jets. There's still some confusion by people on what exactly constitutes a 4th gen jet or even a 4th gen plus jet. I made a video on that a couple weeks ago that kind of clears it up, I hope. Feel free to check that out after you watch this. So now that we know 5th gen fighters are coming, what exactly could we be getting this year? I've done a few videos already on the subject, so make sure you check those out for specific details. What I want to do here is give a general overview of what I expect to trickle in this year. For the US, I'm really expecting the F-14 Tomcat to come. Mike Goes Boom was very cryptic a few days ago when he had a stream, and he said that a premium is coming that is very much in demand. His direct quote was, "It's going to sell like hotcakes." So from that I surmise that we'll get the F-14A or the YF-14A, the former equipping the Iranian Air Force and the US Navy. This will most likely be the premium Mike Goes Boom is talking about, while the F-14B will sit in the tech tree. But I don't expect either of those F-14s to have the AIM-54 Phoenix missile at first. But the Air RBEC maps put in the game a few weeks ago could be an indicator that really long-range missiles like the Phoenix are inbound. I don't know, maybe. If not though, just look forward to a good radar set in the form of the AUG-9, Sidewinder Ds, Ls, and Ms, and some Sparrow Es, Fs, and Ms. And another choice that could be coming, and one of my favorites, is the F-15A. It's going to have that APG-63 pulse Doppler radar, so a really good radar set, and lots of other toys that come with that jet. Of course, it'll pack AM-9Ls, all aspect Sidewinders, and AM-7 Eves, S, and Ms. I'm really excited about the possibility of an F-15, and hopefully Gaijin, knows what they're talking about. They're saying 4th gen fighters are coming. F-15 is a 4th gen fighter. Are we ready for what the F-15 can bring? And this is the A version, not the C. So we're not talking about AMRAAMs or anything. But it's going to be a pretty powerful jet. This thing is going to be a BVR king, just like the F-14. Alright, so next up, we could be getting the F-16A, early Vipers. These, they had the APG-66 pulse Doppler look-down, shoot-down radar. But keep in mind, very early F-16s like Block 1s, Block 5s, maybe even the Block 10 if I'm remembering correctly, they won't have BVR capability. They'll be able to carry a lot of AM-9Ls or Ms, but no Sparrow. So yeah, the F-16 won't get Sparrow capability until later, maybe somewhere around the Block 15 model. But I'm still excited for it. This thing is going to be an amazing dogfighter. And so many F-16s are in service around the world, Gaijin's going to be able to equip this jet to multiple nations in the game. So next up on the possibilities is the Tornado F3, which is the dedicated air defense variant of the Panavia Tornado. These are easy. This is an easy add because you get 2 for 1 here. Italy could get the ADV and the UK because they both operated the aircraft. This would get a pretty good radar set in the form of the GEC Marconi AI-24 Fox Hunter pulse Doppler radar. And the F3 can carry the ASRAAM or AM-9Ls and of course the Skyflash missile. This will be a very good aircraft for a nation like Italy, which has kind of fallen behind in the game. Next up, and another one of my favorites, is the MiG-29 Fulcrum. It's such a beautiful aircraft. Now we could probably get the MiG-29A as a logical follow-on to the MiG-23. It'd be a really good 4th generation fighter with, comparable capabilities to at least the F-16A. The Sapphire 29 pulse Doppler radar is pretty good. It has the R-27s or, the AA-10 Alamos, and the R-73s or the Archer. So the interesting thing about the R-73 or the A-11 Archer, if you use in the NATO reporting name, is that this missile is a very high off-bore sight missile. So merging with the MiG-29 could be quite dangerous if it's going to be armed with the R-73. So the MiG-29 is going to be pretty competitive for Russia, but they could always also go with a early Su-27, with the N001E Mayak pulse Doppler radar. This is a competitor to the F-14 and F-15, a big, heavy, long-range interceptor. The flanker can carry a lot of fuel and way more armaments than a MiG-29 can. And it's a beautiful jet as well. I'd love to see the flankers be some of the first jets to come in 2022 representing 4th gen. And while Gaijin is giving out flankers, China could possibly get the Shenyang J-11, which is a license-built flanker anyway. So we're literally only a copy-paste away from China also getting flankers in the game. So the Chinese flankers would bolster their tech tree and give them a 4th generation fighter on the same level as most other nations. Now for France. So the Mirage F1 has been delayed so long that I'm just really over it. We might as well just skip right past it, go straight for the Mirage 2000 CS4 with the RDI pulse Doppler radar. This jet is equipped with Magic 2s and Super 530 missiles, so it should be pretty competitive against all of the fighters that I've listed thus far. So the last of the true 4th gen fighters that I would expect to come to the game in 2022 would be the F-18 Hornet, F-18A Hornet, with the ability to carry AIM-9Ls, Sparrows, really good multi-role plane with an APG-65 radar, so a good pulse Doppler set. Another aircraft, really at the far end here is the Mitsubishi F2 for Japan, which really isn't an F-16. It was based on the Agile Falcon, which has a long story, but that plane did have a 25% larger wing. The Mitsubishi F2 has a very long story that I won't go into here, but it was equipped with the first AESA radar to ever be on a fighter. I believe it's the JAPG-1. So I'd love for it to come to the game. It'd be very interesting to have the Mitsubishi F2. So a good candidate that might not make it into the game as a 4th gen in 2022 would be the JAS-39A Gripen. I'd love to see this plane in the game, but I think it's a remote possibility right now. It really has a good radar set, the PS-05A, but at this point in time, it carries active radar and missiles, so to put it in the game without that, I think would limit the jet way too much. I think we'd have to wait until the active radar and missiles became a thing. Alright, so last up, and it's really just a notable mention because it's not really a 4th gen jet, but it's the AV-8B Harrier II Plus. So the Harrier II Plus has the APG-65 radar, good pulse Doppler set with Sparrow capability. It can also carry AIM-9Ls. It's got a Lightning pod, 25mm cannon, so it's pretty upgunned and ready to go. This improved Harrier could be a good alternative for Italy. That's one of the main reasons that I bring it up. Italy is really in need of a new jet right now. If everything else falls through, maybe they could get the AV-8B Harrier II. Alright everybody, so that's the video for today. I'm really excited about this. The possibility of playing 4th gen jets is really cool. Let me know what you all think. Were there any other jets you would add to this list? Something that you saw on the list and you don't want? Let me know in the comments. As always, I'll see you in a future video. Thanks for watching.